Reddit recently made changes to how they're pricing for the usage of their APIs, and let's just say that it's angered some of their users to the point where there are mass protests against the site. And now, those protesters are getting help from an unlikely ally, a group of ransomware hackers. In this video, I'll break down the protests and how this Robin Hood-esque ransomware group is coming to the defense of these protesters, all to get Reddit to put back the original pricing and for $4.5 million in ransom. In April, Reddit announced that they were going to start charging third parties to use their APIs. These APIs are like a set of languages that allow these third party apps to interact with Reddit's systems. You'll see this so these third party apps can pull down information, they can send posts, and just allow a whole nother program to interact with Reddit and provide a new interface for its users. Now, the change is a little bit more nuanced than just a blanket approach to pricing. The CEO of Reddit said that this was really meant for third party apps that are crawling their site and pulling down that information without providing any real value back to their users. Now, naturally, that all got lost in translation, and when the users found out about the pricing changes, that's when they got upset. To make matters worse, you have very popular third party apps that are getting financially impacted as a result. Case in point, the popular Apollo app. After learning about these changes, Apollo started working with Reddit to try to understand what the potential cost was going to be for them. When Apollo crunched these numbers, they found that it was going to be over $20 million a year in order to use Reddit's APIs with their new pricing. And this just wasn't going to fly for Apollo. In fact, they announced that they're going to be shutting their doors at the end of June because of these pricing changes. Moderators of Reddit did not like this, and so they took to the site to protest. And what we saw was blanket outages across the site where these moderators took their communities private so that anyone external wasn't going to be able to see the content. The CEO of Reddit was unfazed and pushed back on these moderators, saying that they should not be holding their communities hostage. As if that wasn't bad enough, now we enter in the ransomware group. This ransomware group has some history with Reddit. In fact, if we go back to February of 2023, we see a post from Reddit's CTO that outlines a hack that happened on their systems. In that security incident, hackers sent a bunch of targeted phishing emails to Reddit employees. These phishing emails stole those employees' credentials and were able to bypass MFA, which resulted in the hackers getting access to what's known as a session token. This session token can be placed in the hacker's browser, and then they can log into Reddit's systems as if they were that employee. When the hacker logged into Reddit's systems, they were able to access internal documentation, source code, some business systems, and some business dashboards as well. This was all publicized back in February. If we fast forward back to present day, now we see the BlackCat / ALPHV ransomware group posting on their leak site about that Reddit hack. They're taking credit for hacking into Reddit back in February, and now they're coming public with it. In a typical ransomware group fashion, they're extorting Reddit for $4.5 million, but there's also a twist here. In addition to the money, they're also extorting Reddit to force them to try to change back their API stance. They don't want anyone to have to pay for that API usage. This is the first time I've seen any type of ransomware group that's demanding something quite like this. We don't know how Reddit is going to respond to that. All we know is that this hacking group has tried to reach out to Reddit in the past, and Reddit hasn't responded to them. So I would expect that it's probably going to continue that way. If you're curious about how the hacker was able to break into Reddit using these MFA bypass techniques, check out this video here where I'll detail exactly how a hacker can break in and bypass MFA.